preparing some of that, I thought, wow, God, you are so good. You are changing lives. You're changing people. And that's what it's all about. That's what the gospel is all about. And really, the Celebrate Recovery program is just the gospel in action. That we can come, bring our hurts, hang-ups, habits, meet with Jesus, be changed, and then go and spread the good news to others. So tonight we have a couple quick mini testimonies for you. Our first is Candace. Let's give her a big hand. And can you take Curtis's mic there? Just bring it right over. I didn't get it ready for you because we switched our schedule real quick. So is that going to work? I think so. If not, we'll share this one. That's okay. We'll share this one. If it doesn't reach, good enough. So this is Candace, and Candace has been a part of our core team, which means she is a part of the core leaders here that help set the vision and the tone of what Celebrate Recovery is all about. I'll let her share some of that, but Candace, why don't you introduce yourself and we'll get into some questions.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, I'm Candace, and I'm a grateful believer in Jesus, and I attend Celebrate Recovery to work through hurts, habits, hang-ups, and my fear of public speaking. Thanks for letting me share. Welcome, Candace. Thank you.
Good role. So, Candace, you've been here how long
now? I think since 2017, spring. I was attending a different program here at the church, the Single and Parenting. And that one came to an end, and it was sort of looking towards the next thing, and I was just did you want me to talk about why I came?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
So
Here, we'll do an interview. What brought you there? What made you come to CR? Continue. Thanks, man.
Well, so what brought me to CR was hurts, grief. I lost my husband the year before, and to mental illness and addictions, and so that was part of obviously like a huge hurt. But it wasn't just hurts; it was then like ugly habits and hang-ups that came from that. And as I started attending Celebrate Recovery, as they say, the onion got peeled, and discovered a whole bunch of other things like codependency and all kinds of fun stuff.
So when you first came, did you just knew every problem you were dealing with, and you thought, okay, these are the layers I have to hit, or how did that onion kind of unfold for you? Did you even know why you were coming in first?
I didn't even know I was an onion. No, I had no idea. In fact, I knew Daniel before I came. That's how I knew about Celebrate Recovery because I attend this church, but he was involved with it, and we were friends, and I kind of asked him little questions about it one day. I was like, okay, I think I'm going to come, but I was so nervous because I was like, what's my label? Like, I don't have a label. I was so worried because I didn't have a thing that I discovered I had a lot of things, but I didn't know I was worried about what I would say. But yeah, hurts, habits, hang-ups pretty much covers it. So when something new comes up next week, and I'll be dealing with something new, I'm sure. I mean, I do all the time. So it just, I didn't know anything. And I've worked through some things, but there's always things I'm working through and currently dealing with.
So walk us through a little bit of your process when you came here. You don't know you're an onion. You're going, what are all these hurts, habits, hang-ups? You're discovering these things, and then what? You just kept coming, and now you're all fixed. Or what was kind of your process of healing and recovery in those areas?
I'm totally fixed. See ya. No, I did start helping out a little bit. And I started helping with newcomers at some point. I can't remember the timeline. I attended a step study with a very tiny little group, and that actually opened my eyes to a lot of different things. And I started to work through some certain issues. Eventually, I actually was in another step study last year at this time, just wrapped one up, and I was co-leading that one. And I had a whole other different set of issues, surprise, to deal with. But it was good because you learn with each step study, you learn new things. And just coming, and I think the other part was listening to other people's stories. You start to go, oh, maybe that's what I've been struggling with, and you realize you're not alone. So, but I think the biggest thing that has helped me is just knowing that I can come here and it's a safe place. And it's so nice to come somewhere and just be real. I think when I started coming, I had been going through, like, obviously pretty much hell on earth, and it was hard because people didn't get it, and people always try to fix and try to figure it out, and it's like, you actually can't fix me. And at Celebrate Recovery, you're not allowed to try and fix people. So that's been very freeing. And even now, I love it, and it's taught me a new way to help my friends and other people I talk to by going, okay, I don't have to fix this. I can just actually let them share. So that's been one of the biggest, and just having, knowing that I have a forever family here that I have to leave.
So how did you, kind of last couple of questions here, how did you get involved in serving? You mentioned, I started helping out, I did the STEP studies, and that was, STEP studies are still very much for your own recovery. You know, you're working through the process and the steps, the 8 principles we read tonight, you're doing homework on each principle. What does it mean to me? How does this apply? Questions that dig, and then when you think it's just dug enough, they'll ask the same question another 4 or 5 times until you're frustrated and go, this question is so annoying. Maybe that's just me in my step study, because I do. But how did you get involved then in not just your own recovery, but now serving and helping, and then even core team?
Yeah, so it started out kind of simple. I actually think it might have been you, Sunny. One day I was here and somebody asked me to read, I don't know if you remember, somebody asked me to read principles, and I hadn't at this point done any like surveying or anything, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like terrified. And at the same time as all this was happening, I was, just to backtrack a bit, I went back to school in a communications program. First semester, I realized I had to give a presentation, and my friends were like, I was like terrified. And she's like, you do know you're in a communications program, right? I'm like, right. I didn't really think about this, think this through. But it just kind of started, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to do this in school. I might as well get used to it at CR. So the two actually really worked well together, and both things helped me in my growth. And so yeah, I started with just helping read and then setting up tables, and then I think at some point I started doing newcomers with you, and realized that I really, really enjoyed it. And then eventually, somewhere in there, that has to be core team. It was 2018. Marianne was leaving, and they had a gap to fill. And yeah, I had actually, what's funny is I remember Daniel saying that they had discussed in their meeting, like, who they see as servers, upcoming, who they see as leaders, and he mentioned to me that they saw me as a leader, and I was like, what? Really? I never actually thought of myself as a leader. So Celebrate Recovery, totally empowered me to another area that I didn't even know, that I had. And so, as a leader, it's also been really fun to help do that with other people and say, you have a gift, and just to encourage other people in whatever they might be good at, and whatever gifts they might have. So, it's just been really cool. And I think you learn as you're helping them too. So.
That's awesome. I love hearing, people saying they encouraged me, they saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. I've heard that from other leaders in the room here as well. And that's such an amazing gift, not only to receive, but when you are now in a place that your life has been changed, that you can start encouraging others. I see you as a leader. I see you as helping out. You're sure great at serving. Boy, you make great cookies, Maria. And, whatever, we bring up, and it might seem so silly, but it's not insignificant. I think each of us are looking for love, or looking for encouragement in ways. And what a testimony to hear of someone whose spouse passed away due to drugs and mental illness. And yet they said, okay, I can't sit in this hurt forever. I need to heal. And step forward, and I can only speak of my own story, but I hear it in yours as well. That when we come, we're so broken and go, oh, in 5 years, you're going to be on stage. Yeah, right. In 5 years, I'm not even going to stay 5 minutes. This is weird. I don't know if I'm coming back to this thing. But you do, and you push through. And each of us, and leaders at the table, thank you for pushing through. Candace, thank you for pushing through. And I'm going to invite Shirley up. This is actually, Candace is stepping down from our core team and taking a bit of a break and working on some other areas of her life. But, you know, I'm so grateful for what you have done, and she downplays it. A lot of what's happened behind the scenes, she's done. And, you know, she has helped rewrite our schedule and our newcomers books and our step studies and our, you know, some of the leaders' layouts of that, hi guys. And does it without seeking credit, does it without, you know, she just, here it is, it's done, it's ready, it's organized, people are serving, fills out the schedule. But I'll turn over to Shirley here and let her do the bragging.
Wow, you've had a big year, right? Candace, when she said she was a co-leader at a step study, that was with me.
Yes.
And we learned a lot together, we became very close. And it's sad for me to see you just moving on. But she graduated this year with your diploma and in communication and starting a new business. She moved. She has a teenager at home. That's
helping Jesus.
Yeah, that's a big thing right there. But we have so appreciated you, Candace, and we love you. And we just want to bless you and let you know that this is your forever family. Yeah. You're always welcome to come back, even though you're not going to be on core team.
I'll be back.
You'll be back. That's good.